Thanks for tuning in to another Lion Legend feature. In this edition, we're catching up with a native of Boonville, Mississippi. He played 2 seasons at North Alabama after a 4-year military career. He was a member of UNA's first Final Four team, and his 2 years on campus saw the Lions go 43-13. Freddie Copeland, thanks for being our next Lion Legend. How are you today?
So far, so good, and it's an honor to be here with you.
We're going to jump into your career at North Alabama, but first, it feels like your story begins with your military career. So you graduate high school. Take us through how you go from high school to the Air Force.
Well, after completing my high school, I decided to go into the Air Force. I had an uncle that was in the military. He kind of persuaded me to go into the military. I wasn't even thinking about college. So I decided to join the Air Force instead of the Army. And the reason why I joined the Air Force, he said, if you join the Air Force, you don't have to go to Vietnam. Well, after 6 months into the Air Force, I landed in Vietnam. But I had four years in the Air Force, and I really enjoyed those 4 years in the Air Force. I mean, the Vietnam tour was there, matter of fact, 2 tours. But overall, the Air Force was a good experience. As a matter of fact, I was going to make a career out of it. But unfortunately, my father became sick my 4th year in, and I decided to get out and come home to be with my father and my mom.
Take us through your service and some of the things that you did.
I was a communication center specialist. That's basically encoding and decoding messages, the top secret stuff. Basically, pilots would go out and fly sorties. And for those sorties, they would give us information on exactly what occurred. Well, I had to get all that typed up and put it in the computer and that sort of thing. We had to simulate it to an intelligence group, and they'll figure it out what you do on the next sortie and the next sortie. So basically, that's what I did. I just flew around all over the world and landed in search spots. But basically, my primary job was encoding and decoding top secret messages and making sure the right people get that information to make the right decisions.
So now take us through your path to UNA. You wrap up the military side of things, and then you end up at Northeast Mississippi Community College. What was that journey like?
Yeah, originally I'm from Boonville, and that's where Northeast is located. Believe it or not, I entered the military. It was like in August of '73. And while I was home with my mom, I said, I think I'd go up to Northeast and shoot some basketball. I always liked playing basketball in the military. So I go up, and there's a guy on the floor playing basketball. And I said, hey, you mind if I shoot something with you? He said, oh, absolutely. So I got to shooting around with him and shooting a lot and that sort of thing. Next thing I know, I had the basketball, and he was gone. I just kept shooting, and playing. Next thing I know, there was a group there, a coach, an athletic director, and everybody wanted to know who I was. And I told him who I was, and hometown fella and that sort of thing. And coach asked, would I be interested in playing in Northeast? And I said, you sure? I'm a military veteran. He said, do you want to play? I said, I give it a shot. And he brought the rest of the guys over. We had a scrimmage. Next thing I know, he said, you got a scholarship if you want it. That all happened in one afternoon.
What a great day that must have been for you. 2 years at Northeast Mississippi. Bill Jones is the head coach at North Alabama. What was your recruitment like to UNA?
Oh, wow. It was great. Coach Jones would never do a moment. He came to many of my basketball games at Northeast, but I was kind of highly recruited. But I wanted to stay somewhere close to home because I wanted my mom to be able to come see me play. And Coach Jones, of course, the way he did it is he visited my mom. Okay, he sit there and he eat dinner with her, and they eat the apple pie and all that sort of thing. And mom just loved him to death. So he worked on my mom, and my mom worked on me. But North Alabama was not on my radar screen, but a little enticing through mom and that sort of thing. But and I visited UNA, and I've been over this way before, and it's a nice campus. I liked it. The rest is history.
So you arrive on campus in 1975. Take us back to what campus was like when you got here.
Wow, at that time we stayed on the 8th floor. The athletes we had a floor to ourselves against us and the baseball team. When I say us, I'm talking about basketball. And Rivers Hall, 8th floor Rivers Hall. But and that was nice, and we had full access to the gym and that sort of thing. But I guess the key thing about it, it was still a lot of students at the university, but it was quiet, kind of secluded, and the fan base was fantastic. And we had a relatively good I thought we had a good basketball team. I thought we was going to do better than we did. And the city just loved us. The fans loved us. We would go when we played, it was always full. The place was packed. Matter of fact, they had to shut it down because we had so many. When I say shut down, there was only so many people could get into the building. Fire marshal said, hey, can't no more get in. And a lot of people used to get upset about that. I always remember that. But it it was fun times. It was fun times.
So you joined a program that was on the rise. You guys were about to go on a great run over the next handful of seasons. Bill Jones, the head coach. What were those early days like when you first arrived playing under Coach Jones?
Well, I understood the game, and I was being 3 and 4 years older than the average guy on the team just because of my military career. He kind of looked at me as I guess you call it the enforcer. But I was there for one thing, I was going to play basketball, but I definitely want to get a degree. I said, I'm going to get my degree. And Coach emphasized that a lot. His emphasis was more on defense. Coach's strategy was get yourself in shape. And, if we defend the other team, you guys are offensive. You have enough skill offensively that we're going to win a lot of ball games. So his mechanism was defense. And the other thing was getting yourself in shape because he said the last 5 or 6 minutes where we're going to win the game. He always thought if you was in the best shape and you play good defense, you could overcome the adversity and you'll win the game. Coach Seuss on the other side was our assistant coach. He's more offensively. He teaches us the offensive skills and that sort of thing. But we grounded our games on what we call defense and being in excellent condition and just wear the other team down.
All right, let's talk in detail your first season, a 19-6 record, and that was a school record for wins in a season at 19. You posted averages of 12.4 points, 7.4 rebounds. Reflecting back on year one, what stands out most?
I think what stands out the most is prior to my arrival, they had a decent basketball team. When you do 19 in one season, like 19-6, they thought that was a big, big thing. But I thought we could go undefeated. I really did. And we did win the Gulf South Conference and that sort of thing, but we just couldn't elevate to that next level. But what was so good about that was the consistencies in the winning. We would win 7, 8 games. We defended our home court, and our motto was, and the philosophy was, that anybody come into our home court, it's like coming into your house, coming into your home. Like it's not going to be a healthy environment, all right? Because we said we're going to win all our games at home, win half the games on the road. And we stand a good chance of doing a lot of good things in this conference and further and advancing further. What that first year taught us was a lot of the guys grew up, and that gave us a great chance for the second year, But that's what it was all about, getting culturally indoctrinated the first year on defense, being in shape, understanding what your home court was all about. And the fans just loved it. I mean, we played our heart out for the fans.
Year two, you guys make the Final Four run. And let's start at the beginning. A special freshman class came in that year led by the likes of Otis Body. Gerald Lavender came in as well. What was it like when those guys joined a team that had won a school record 19 games the year prior?
Well, the key to it was those guys coming in, they had a winning background. Like Otis had won a state championship, very skillful. Lavender, very skillful players. A few more guys came in. But the key to it, they came in with a good pedigree. Okay, and we lost some guys, but these guys were young and they had a good attitude. And they basically, my thing was I tried to educate them on what we did with 19-6. And if we could just drop off some of those 6 losses, increase the win losses, we could go thing. But the key to it, you got to be dedicated to the game. And they listened to me, But guys like Otis was not hard to coach and wasn't hard to, Otis took the game very serious. Gerald Lavender was the same way the rest of the guys. They were just good kids at that time, real good kids, and they were real coachable, and they had their heart. They wanted to learn, And I was there to say, hey, I'll teach you what I know. But my thing was like I just wanted to win, If what I have is 20 points a game or 5 points a game, as long as at the end of the score we had more points than the other team, I was excited, So that's basically what it was. The second year was bringing those guys on, bring the group that we had there previously. And just there was good cohesive, what I call cohesive. We just gel together.
And you guys certainly did do a lot of winning. So your first year at UNA, again, I'm going to say it a lot, the school record 19 wins. Your senior year, you guys hosted the NCAA tournament. What was that feeling like knowing that, hey, here we are, this program's on the rise, and we're hosting the NCAA tournament inside of Flowers Hall?
That was fantastic because I remember that second year, we did not lose a home game, And then I think the team that we hosted at home was St. Louis, I think out of California. We said, wow, we playing a team from California. That was a big, big, big. Couldn't even pronounce the name. All we knew they was from California, And but that was great. And the turnout was unbelievable. The place was packed. It was loud. And, it was our first experience of playing at that level. That's a big thing for the university. It was all in the newspaper. Everybody was all excited about it. And fortunately, we got down to the last second, made a steal here, a dunk there. But we won the game. Man, that was fantastic. I mean, the student body, the kids on campus went wild. The teachers went wild. The city was crazy. But it was a great, that to me was the catalyst. That really put some heart and soul into North Alabama basketball. I think winning that game, I think that filtered to another level. And, Otis and those guys, that they came back, they just fed off of that. It was a good feeling. Winning is a good feeling.
A 67-64 overtime win over Cal Poly. And the legend goes, a few years prior, first game in Flowers Hall was an NBA game. I think it was the Hawks and Celtics maybe. But stepping into that atmosphere, that crowd, you've gone into detail, but how much did it drive you guys?
Big time, because we wanted to win. And playing somebody like Cal Poly, they wanted to win. And it was a very good basketball team. But the key to it, our drive was, remember, we played good defense. If we were committed to the principle that we had been coached to do, we were in excellent shape, play hard defense. And it's right, the last 2 or 3 minutes, somebody's going to break. And Cal Poly, unfortunately, they made a couple of mistakes there on the end, and we were able to make a couple of steals and a couple of free throws. It could have gone either way. But I really do believe that all the training we had, it played out on the end, just like we played during the season. In the last 2 or 3 minutes, we won the game. They made the mistakes and we didn't. We capitalized.
So you guys have the epic win inside of Flowers Hall. That propels you to the Final Four. You guys would ultimately lose the first game, win the consolation game to finish third in the nation. But the Final Four experience, what do you remember from it?
Well, what I remember, I've been around the world, so I've seen a lot of places and a lot of things. But we had some guys that flying up there on the airplane. They'd never been in an airplane before. I've been Air Force, in and out of airplanes, helicopters all the time. And it just kind of blew their minds. And I kind of absorbed it all. I said, oh, boy, I think we're going to be in for a rough time, because it was a new experience. And then we get into Massachusetts. Most guys never been out of the state of Alabama. You get up there in Connecticut and Massachusetts, then you see this big dome that we're playing in, and then we're doing all this visitation. We're going around to the different places, the Shriners Hospital and that sort of thing. And I think the young guys, they were freshmen too, it was a lot to take in. And I don't think we were prepared for the first game, because it took a while for them to absorb. It was a new beginning. It was, I guess, a culture thing. They had to absorb all of this new stuff. And we had to go through it so quick. And the second game, we were ready. The first game, we were not ready. It was just, the guy just couldn't wake up. It was kind of like a dream. And I kind of saw all that, and it was kind of a dream for me too, but we just, we couldn't come alive like I thought we could. But the second game, wow, we was ready. Too bad we didn't have a third game.
So the school's first ever Final Four run, and that would propel that freshman class. They made 3 Final Fours in 4 years. They won the national championship in '79. For you, what was it like seeing those guys continue to have the success that they had?
Because I would come back and watch the guys play, and I could tell that they would get better. And I would talk to some of the guys, of course, I graduated and all. But the thing to it, as I talked to them, the motivation was like they had a good beginning. They were indoctrinated the right way, and they wanted to win. That will to win, that desire to win was instilled in those guys. And the key to it was bringing a few more pieces, keep that nucleus there. And Otis was a good leader. Jerry was a good leader, and a couple more guys there were good leaders too. But they brought in good players, and I was glad they kept the program going in the right direction. I knew they were going to win. I said, it's just a matter of time, because they were getting better and better. Of course, our competition was getting better and better. But they stuck to the philosophy: good defense, get yourself in shape, do the right thing, and play hard. And the championship came.
So you graduate from North Alabama, and you've had a very successful business career afterwards. Take us through some of the things you did once you wrapped up at UNA.
Wow. I believe it or not, one summer at UNA, I had an opportunity to get a summer job, and it was at Reynolds Mellor Company during the summer. And I worked there during the summer in between my junior and senior year. And my senior year, they had a job forum here at the university about hiring some students. And I said, wow, well, I worked there during the summer. Let me try that. So I go over and fill out the application and all, and hey, a couple days later, I get a call. It was a management trainee program, and they asked me would I be interested in that sort of thing. I said, why not? I'm fresh out of school, and I didn't really know. I thought maybe I wanted to teach or coach, but I said, I worked on some of the Reynolds. I kind of like that. So I joined the management program at Reynolds, and hey, they sent me out to a lot of schools and working at different plants and that sort of thing. And I got into the management program, and I worked with Reynolds for about 20 years. And transferred up to Richmond, Virginia. And then basically what we do is we would take aluminum cans, melt those down, and make new aluminum cans, whether it was to Budweiser or Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola. But the key to it was recycling cans, aluminum cans, to make new cans. That's a big process, but it's really very simple. And you do that at different plants and that sort of thing. So I go to Richmond, Virginia as an executive, and Reynolds sells the company. And they sell the company. I joined another company that bought Reynolds. And I'm up here in Richmond, Virginia, and things are going real well there as an executive. And I like that company. That was a company called Wabash. Wabash Alloys had a little piece of that. In that part of the business, that was secondary aluminum. What secondary does, now instead of cans, we would take, if you look under the hood of a car, you would have an engine block, or you have a transmission case, and water pump, fuel pump. And those things go to a junkyard. The scrappers will pull those pieces out. It's aluminum, so you melt those down and you make new parts. And believe it or not, they go into new automobiles. So I was involved in that process. And as a vice president of the company, we had locations in Canada. I spent a lot of time in Canada, a lot of time in Mexico, and throughout the various places in the United States, a lot of travel. But I had a chance to buy a home here in Muscle Shoals. And what I would do, I would catch a flight out of Huntsville on Monday, and I would fly back on Friday. And then headquarters was in Boston, Massachusetts, plus Wabash, Indiana. And I would stay in places like a Holiday Inn or rent an apartment, something like that. But basically, I was a traveler. I fly out, I go to work on Monday and come back on Friday. When I tell people that, like, I was a world traveler on an airplane, I said, well, I was in the Air Force all my life. But that's kind of the way it evolved. And I did a lot of work in the aluminum industry, traveling to a lot of different places as a business executive. It's all about aluminum, whether it's cans or whether it's automobiles, secondary or primary. But I kind of got hooked on the aluminum business. So I made a career out of it until I finally retired. Enjoyed it.
Retired now in Muscle Shoals. I got two more things for you before I let you go. First off, North Alabama, 2 national championships in basketball, now a transition into the world of Division I. Just how excited are you to see the continued growth of the university?
Fantastic. I try not to miss any of the games, and I love to see the university has grown, from Rivers Hall in my days to what it is now and what they've done to Flowers Hall. And this being able to go to Division I, because I remember when I first attended UNA, Jacksonville State, Troy University, Lipscomb, Belmont, we played all those schools. They were rivalries, and we beat them. Sometimes they would beat us, Tennessee State, Alabama A&M, but it was all good rivalries. But as UNA stayed at the Division II level, these schools jumped to the next level. And I said, wow, Jacksonville go to Division I? I said, man, we're just as good as they are. But I'm out in the business world. I would read about it. Troy State, Troy University going to Division I. I kept saying, when is UNA going to make this jump? I think we can play with them, We did good in basketball, did good in football. I said, hey, we're just as good as they are. So it took a while. But I was so excited when finally they said, they're going to Division I. And I know we could compete. I said, man, it just took us a while to get there. So it's exciting. The university is on a roll. I mean, the whole campus is growing. It is expanding. The sports world is expanding. The caliber of play is expanding. You get the ESPN. You get to travel to other places throughout the United States. Fantastic. I am very excited about that. I'm very excited about the university, the growth of the university in all areas other than sports.
So you grow up in Boonville, Mississippi. The Air Force takes you all over the world. Your playing career, your professional career takes you all over the United States. But here you are back in Muscle Shoals, the Shoals area, the University of North Alabama. We'll end it with this. Just how special is Florence, the campus, the Shoals area to you?
Well, the old adage is, the old cliche is there's no place like home. I've stayed in Richmond, Virginia. I've stayed in Boston, Massachusetts. I've stayed in Cleveland, Ohio, Boonville, Mississippi. But I'm back. I'm only an hour drive from where I grew up. And there's no place like it. I am in love with Muscle Shoals. I'm back here, like I left here in 75, 77. And here I am back today, and I'm proud of it. I could have chose other places to stay, but this is perfect for me. Plus, it gives me an hour from where I was born and raised up. It's great. And just to see the growth of the shows from, when I look at North Alabama, Northwest Alabama, it all has grown. Even when I look at Northeast Mississippi, everything has gone to another level. It's great, great, great. I'm excited. I'm glad to be back, be a part of the community, getting involved in certain things, and just seeing the growth and development of the area.
A Lion legend, UNA wouldn't be where it is today without you. Freddie Copeland, thanks for catching up with us.
Hey, Roar Lions.
Roar Lions.
All right.